The air was thick with the smell of old fabric and fear. I stood before a glass case, chills running down my spine. Inside sat Annabelle, a seemingly innocuous Raggedy Ann doll. Her vacant eyes seemed to follow my every move. My journey into the heart of Connecticut had led me to the Occult Museum, home to this infamous artifact. The museum was a treasure trove of the macabre, each object with a story more unsettling than the last. But Annabelle, she was different. She was a conduit, a vessel for something dark and ancient. The stories surrounding Annabelle are the stuff of nightmares. A nursing student gifted the doll, only to find it moving around her apartment. Scrawled messages appeared, pleading for help. A medium confirmed their worst fears. Annabelle was possessed by the spirit of a young girl, or so it claimed. But the entity within craved more than just childish games. It sought to cross over, to possess a living soul. The museum's curator, a weathered man with eyes that held too much knowledge, warned me as I left. "Respect the vessel," he cautioned, "but never, ever trust the spirit within." The humid Louisiana air hung heavy, thick with the scent of Spanish moss and something ancient, something primal. We were deep in Cajun country, the bayou stretching out before us like a liquid labyrinth. Our guide, a weathered old man named Jacques, spoke in hushed tones of the legend of the Rougarou. "He's a shapeshifter," Jacques whispered, his voice barely audible above the chirping of crickets. "Part man, part beast. Some say a werewolf, others, something far older, far more sinister. The Rougarou," he explained, stalked the bayou, preying on those foolish enough to wander alone at night. Legend had it that the creature was once a vengeful spirit, cursed to walk the earth in that monstrous form. Jacques recounted tales of missing persons, of mangled livestock, of blood-curdling screams echoing through the night. The Queen Mary, once a majestic ocean liner, now stood as a somber sentinel in Long Beach Harbor. Her gleaming white exterior belied a darker history, one whispered in hushed tones by those who dared to spend the night aboard. For the Queen Mary was more than just a retired vessel. She was a floating graveyard, a beacon for lost souls. Stepping aboard was like stepping back in time. The Art Deco interiors whispered of a bygone era, but beneath the glamour and grandeur lurked an undeniable chill. The air was heavy with the weight of countless tragedies, of lives lost and memories lingering like phantom passengers. There was the story of Half-Hatch Harry, a sailor crushed to death by a door. His ghost now said to roam the ship's bowels. Guests reported inexplicable cold spots, disembodied voices, and the feeling of being watched. The Jersey Pine Barrens, a desolate expanse of scrub pine and whispering winds, held a secret born of folklore and fear, a secret that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. It was the legend of the Jersey Devil, a creature as bizarre as it was terrifying. The creature was said to be the 13th child of a woman named Mother Leeds, who, driven to madness, cursed the unborn infant. When the child was born, it was no ordinary baby. It was a monstrosity with the head of a goat, leathery bat wings and cloven hooves. Its eyes glowed with an infernal light, and its scream was said to chill the very marrow. The Jersey Devil, they said, haunted the Pine Barrens, its blood-curdling shrieks echoing through the night. Farmers reported mutilated livestock, their bodies drained of blood. Some dismissed the stories as mere superstition, the ramblings of frightened locals. The Arizona desert stretched out before me, a vast expanse of red rock and shimmering heat haze. But beneath the beauty, an ancient fear lingered. The Navajo people called this land their own, and they had long whispered of a darkness that lurked in the shadows. A darkness that wore many faces, a darkness known as the Skinwalker. The Skinwalker, they said, was not a single entity, but rather a malevolent witch, corrupted by forbidden magic and driven by a lust for power. They had the ability to shapeshift, to take on the form of any creature they desired, from a harmless coyote to a terrifying beast of unimaginable horror. These creatures were not mere legends to the Navajo. They were a terrifying reality, spoken of in hushed tones around campfires. Stories were told of encounters with these beings, of their glowing red eyes peering from the darkness, of their unnatural speed and agility. The wind howled through the Badlands of South Dakota, a mournful cry that echoed across the desolate landscape. These rugged canyons and windswept plains held a beauty that was both stark and captivating. But beneath the surface, a darkness lingered, an ancient fear passed down through generations of Lakota Sioux. It was the legend of the Banshee, a harbinger of doom. The Banshee, in Lakota tradition, was not the wailing woman of Irish folklore, but rather a spectral entity that took the form of a large black bird. Its eyes glowed with an eerie red light, and its cry, a mournful wail that chilled the blood, was said to foretell a coming death. The Lakota people believed that the Banshee was a messenger from the spirit world, sent to warn those who were soon to journey to the afterlife. To hear its cry was an ill omen, a sign that death was near. The Texas night was alive with the sound of crickets and the distant hum of traffic. But on this secluded stretch of road, known only as Lover's Lane, a different kind of soundtrack played. It was a symphony of fear, fueled by whispered tales and the chilling legend of the Hookman. The Hookman, they said, was a shadowy figure, his face obscured by darkness, his right hand replaced with a gleaming hook. He preyed on young couples, parking in secluded spots, their love a beacon in the darkness. He would stalk them, his presence a silent terror, before striking. The legend usually involved a car, a secluded location, and a chilling discovery. The Hookman would appear, often after a close call or a near miss, his hook scraping against the car, a terrifying symphony of metal on metal. Panic would ensue, the couple fleeing into the night, only to find the Hookman waiting for them. The Hawaiian Islands, a paradise of sun-drenched beaches and lush rainforests, held a dark secret. It was a secret whispered in hushed tones, a secret that sent shivers down the spines of even the most skeptical visitor. It was the legend of the Nightmarchers, ghostly warriors who roamed the islands after dark. The Nightmarchers, or Huaka'i Po in Hawaiian, were said to be the spirits of ancient warriors, marching from their burial grounds to ancient battlefields. They were a fearsome sight, their spectral forms adorned in battle gear, their torches casting an eerie glow on the tropical foliage. The sound of their drums, a rhythmic thump that echoed through the valleys, was said to be a harbinger of doom. To see the Nightmarchers meant certain death, unless one was fortunate enough to have a relative among their ranks. Stories were told of unsuspecting tourists venturing out after dark, only to find themselves face to face with the ghostly procession. The small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, seemed an unlikely place for a legend to take root. But in the winter of 1966, something strange descended upon this quiet community. Something that would forever change the town and its people. Something known as the Moth Man. The Moth Man was a creature unlike any other, a bizarre entity with glowing red eyes and enormous wings that spanned over 10 feet. It was first sighted near an abandoned World War II munitions plant, its glowing eyes reflecting the fear of those who dared to approach. As sightings of the Mothman increased, so too did the strange occurrences in Point Pleasant. People reported strange lights in the sky, unexplained phone calls, and encounters with menacing figures in black suits. Some believed the Mothman was a harbinger of doom, its appearance linked to the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge, which claimed the lives of 46 people. The stories I've shared are just a glimpse into the vast and unsettling world of American folklore. From the haunted shores of Connecticut to the windswept plains of South Dakota, these legends persist, passed down through generations, each telling a tale of fear, mystery, and the unknown. Are they merely stories meant to frighten children and fuel campfire tales? Or is there something more to these legends, a grain of truth buried beneath layers of exaggeration and embellishment? The answer, my friends, is up to you to decide. But be warned. The next time you find yourself in a darkened room or driving down a deserted road, listen closely. You might just hear the whisper of a legend, a chilling reminder that some stories are best left untold.